Just a quick update on our sort of march towards having liquidity and exchange listings. As everybody knows, we've been working very hard to have a decentralized exchange-focused strategy here that's going to be community-led. So we're working with Osmosis and a Tendermint team and both Gravity Dex and Osmosis for sort of an initial listing strategy. Not sharing, it's a little premature to share any concrete details about the date, but it's just to say this is all going very well. We're really excited, and stay tuned. There's going to be R&D Inc. will be, which currently is the sort of steward of the Regen Network official website, will be sort of ensuring that there is clear instructions and communication about the sort of listing that's going to be taking place, time, location, and all those details. So don't participate in anything that is not coming from that single source of truth. But R&D Inc. is going to be acting a little bit more as a coordinator and less sort of just running it on our own. So great. Okay, now talking about governance. Hope everybody likes my inclusion of some Captain Planet memes in the presentation this week. So there's two proposals that are being discussed over at forum.regen.network. One is to enable transfers, the other is to enable IBC. Both of these are prerequisites for any sort of price discovery and decentralized exchange listing to take place. It also enables a bunch of other things, new validators potentially coming into the set. And obviously the future functionality all depends on transferability. So I think it's pretty uncontroversial. There's some conversation happening. Go join, read, communicate. I believe that these things are gonna Daniel, I'm not sure if he's on, Daniel Swid of Swidnik Validator is aiming to try to have these, gather a little deposit and have these up maybe by the end of the week and start to enter into the voting period. So yeah, exciting. First on-chain upgrades and governance process since mainnet. We've had a nice just period of making sure everything's working, and I think it's a good time to move forward. So go ahead. Please. Oh, you're not seeing my screen?
It's showing up for me. I did need to click on it first, though. It was like one of the tiles, and then it went to full screen, so I don't... Yeah.
Okay, great. So hopefully you are all able to see it. I'm presenting in full screen just because seems like the thing to do. So let me know if there's issues. Thanks, Dan. Hopefully it's working for you now. Okay, just sharing a couple recent Medium blog posts. We wrote up something about the Fresh Regen slashing event, and just so the community could learn from that. So you can check that out. There's also just a general guide to governance and both of these Dan wrote up. So thank you, Dan. Go read them, have a clap. Questions and comments are welcome. Anything that you'd like to share on that, Dan? You're on mute if you're talking.
I've got two mute buttons now. Basically it's pretty straightforward. So the slashing event blog, that's just kind of a summary, and mostly it was taken from what Gregory had already talked about in Discord, just a more formal way, and a little bit of paraphrasing of what Eddie had wrote with some links to his website and some other kind of links to kind of clarify what was going on. As far as the governance is concerned, as you can see, it's part one. I started out with basically, if you're a proposer, the steps that you should follow to kind of get the word out about the proposal itself. I know that's a really important part. You can submit proposals all day long, but if nobody knows about them, then of course nobody can actually vote on them unless they're just like sitting there refreshing the proposal page on Kepler. And then I also wrote a small guide in there for folks on how to use the Kepler wallet interface to actually do the voting itself. So yeah, go ahead and check it out, and there'll be a couple more parts coming out that go into a little bit more depth as far as the submitting of the proposals are concerned.
Cool. Thank you. We've been running open office hours between Ravathi and myself and a group of collaborators focused on the Amazon and sort of the community staking DAO initiative and several intersecting partnerships to bring Carbon Plus Amazonia credits on chain and run sort of a participatory design of ecosystem service payment by and for indigenous people there, because traditionally it's been a pretty top-down institutional mess. So there's a lot of excitement. Things are starting to really move. It's been a really fun forum. So we sort of canceled the public call this week just so we could have a focused call with a couple of key stakeholders during that time, because it just was the right thing to do to just take it a layer deeper. I think we'll be resuming as a public call. People can just sort of join if you've got ideas or excitement. Come and join us. And also would encourage, if there's focus areas that other people are passionate about, feel free to start getting a rhythm of calls and convening community around it. And we're very happy to try to support. Green NFT Hackathon concluded. Some awesome contributions and some winners. Very exciting. Those the transfers to the winners will happen after transfers are enabled. So yeah, pretty rad. And also, if you haven't been paying attention, Gitcoin has their governance token sort of distribution right now. It's exciting to see that community and team taking things to the next level. So, all right. And as we mentioned last week, but just to keep everybody up to date, it's big. The community staking DAO allocation delegation policy was published. There'll be rolling monthly updates. So if you want to read it and have some suggestions, please do. Will, I think you're on the call. Would you like to speak to anything about this?
Well, it seems like it went pretty smoothly. I haven't. The first time that we allocated the 5 million regen for the foundation, there were comments from validators about various discrepancies between, what method we had used to determine rankings and other things like that. This time around, I haven't gotten. No one said anything to me, so I assume that that's good news, that no one's really upset about us doing something off here. So as far as I can tell, it's gone well. And yes, the door continues to be open. If anyone has any comments about how we continue to upgrade this process, it is an iterative thing that we'll be doing a number of more times here.
Great. Any questions there before I go on? All right. Roadmap updates, as always, you can check out the public Notion. They're mostly pretty large epics, so it tends to move slow. But you can just keep track of everything. It's all built in public. We're going through a process both with the Cosmos SDK. Actually, they're wanting to, the ecosystem is going to start to move towards sort of a shared OKR, objective and key result based sort of public mapping system. So we're staying tuned to that. We may learn and adapt and iterate how we're able to report and plan and just be good at building in public. If you've got comments or expertise in that area, please let us know. So as always, you can check out the Google Calendar link. Just make sure that you're on it for any upcoming events. And community calls are every 2 weeks instead of the weekly rhythm that we were in leading up to mainnet launch. So the next call is on the 8th of June. getting into the summertime here in the Northern Hemisphere. So with that, I'm going to, am I not sharing screen? I am. Let me see. I'm going to stop streaming. And thanks for your attention. And I'll pause. I think we're just a little under the usual 15-minute mark for just news and updates, and see if there's any questions or comments or where people would like the conversation to go. Nice to see Will on here and Robert. So this is a great time to discuss any ideas that you've got. I know there's a number of different sort of exciting ideas that may take some time and research to develop. So if folks want to use this as a forum to speak about that, feel free. I'm not sure where else to go. I think the big upcoming news here is really all around transfer enablement and the public sort of price discovery, and then DEX being listed on the Cosmos Gravity DEX. So Hey, Robert.
Hi. In fact, I just wanted to share one of the ideas. Not sure if it's a good place to know or not. But so stake token. Currently, the design of the SDK says that if you stake the token, it's just locked and you can't use it except for the governance. Yes, but there was a recent post, but I don't remember which company. Yes. It's a multi-chain organization. They are doing some stake derivatives. So just throwing an idea, how about doing a derivative for the staked Regen token, where I could use that token not only for the governance, but maybe for some other things.
Hi, I have a question.
Cool. Robert, I love that concept. Happy to chat more about that. Adriana, was your question about staking derivatives, or do you have a different one?
Yeah, I have actually a different one regarding the hackathon that your team has participated in. You said that there were some exciting projects coming out of that one, and if you have more details on that, what did people build during the hackathon?
Sure. Yeah, you can see the 3 winners here. It was around green NFTs, and so there was some people doing integrations, some people talking about green energy proofs. It's in this slide. I'm happy to let me just cut and paste. So if you'd like to just go check out the submissions, you can. I'm putting it in the audience chat, so you can just have a look there. Oh, and yes, Will, I'm happy to post a link to this week's presentation. Just a second.
Yeah,
So,
Dan here. I just wanted to comment on that. So I just finished a blog post last night. I just have to kind of finalize it, and then I'll be posting that hopefully today, about the winners and kind of what their proposals were, and just a small update on each one of them. They'll have links and all that good stuff in it too, Adriana.
Yeah. So a question related to this and in continuation of this one is, do you see any of these projects which competed for the hackathon to maybe continue the solution outside of the hackathon, maybe with a grant from Regen or something? Is there any solution which you might see this converting into an actual product at some point?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, we are going to be supporting NFTs, and and we are going to start working on a grants program. So, and these are, people who are already sort of leaning in and, playing around and hacking things together are definitely the top of the list for recipients, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, circling back to Robert's comment around staking derivatives, yeah, I mean, I think it's really exciting what else we can use the governance token for. I have particular excitements around that sort of model for being able to collateralize, potentially, create sort of DeFi for Earth instruments and some other cool applications and interactions with the credit and registry application logic.
Well, exactly. So the staked region, yes, have a lot of value. Yes, so because it's not only the value of the region itself, right, but the government. I mean, okay, the token itself already represents the governance. Yes, but the fact that it's locked, yes, doesn't mean that it doesn't have any value. Yes, so you can still vote on it. The open question will be as who should vote on it. Yes, the owner of the stake token or the owner of the derivative. Yes, so in that case, I mean, my opinion here is that, okay, the owner of the stake token should vote on it, but the owner of the derivative, yes, can use it for as a financial instrument.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of research to do. I know staking derivatives are starting to come online in a couple of different places, so we're going to be able to observe that and I think and build something that is really of high integrity. So yeah, it's an exciting concept. I'm glad you brought it up.
Does that concept address the tension between staking versus providing liquidity for liquidity pools? Is that kind of the use case you're thinking of, Robert?
Yes, so especially if we will build our own DEX, yes, then we can value the stake token. I mean, we will have a power, yes, how to value the stake token, and we can value it one-to-one. So let's say if we will have some pool, yes, where we price some other tokens related to a Regen network, yes, then those can be priced with the stake token. And in fact, there is more than that, yes, because if we have if you would have different pools denominated with one common token, that's something I was recently working on. Then you could have that kind of a mega pool concept. So imagine that you have hundreds of pools and all of them are denominated or backed by Regen token. Then there is a very minuscule risk that all of them will collapse. Right? Like I would say, yes, that this risk is as small as that we can ignore it. Hence, we could somehow spread that risk that all of them will collapse and say that in fact you don't need 100% of your collateral value in Regen. The Regen token will have a little bit more value. Yes, so instead of providing 100%, so instead of like having Regen token power equal to 100% of the value.
On the slashing event, I know that was a post which was written, and I was kind of curious to learn if fresh validator, in this case the fresh Regen, has the intent to come back to the validator set in a way or another. What are the dates there? I know that this was not a malicious event like it was described, and more like an error.
Yeah, happy to speak about that. I'm just curious, Adriana, are you hearing Robert? Because as he was sort of chatting through things, and then you sort of came in the middle. I'm just curious if we have like a Discord lag, basically.
I haven't heard anyone. It was complete silence for me, so I just jumped in with a question.
Oh, yeah, no, that's interesting. So we're having maybe a Discord sound issue. So Robert was chatting. Robert and Christian were just chatting about sort of staking derivative design and how to use staking derivatives to create liquidity for sort of the natural capital DEX that we're looking to launch. And yeah, so I don't know, Robert, if you want to just wrap up your thought there, and then I'll answer Adriana's question, which I think is also important to speak to.
Right. So just to summarize it, is with that concept that you can leverage that risk. You can say that a Regen token for the as a liquidity collateral has, let's say, 120% power. Yes, and that will allow you to use even less Regen to back your liquidity pools. I will need to write it somewhere, so yeah, we can. It will be probably a little bit clear when you will see some equation.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it written up. It's exciting. Adriana, you were speaking about the Fresh Regen. Yes, I believe that they are hoping to come back into the active validator set and continue being community members. And there's, I think, some work to support them to do so taking place. Yeah, so we certainly wouldn't want a professional and committed community member to be lost from the community because of a mistake, a simple mistake. I mean, I think the slashing event was punishment enough. So definitely working to support Eddie and the Fresh Regen team in sort of coming back and being an active community member. They've always been great and been very supportive. In fact, right before this happened, they'd started a process to connect us with Eddie's from Brazil, to connect us with some really fantastic project developers in Brazil. And so, yeah, clearly their Fresh Regen is a pretty awesome community member. So we're going to do everything we can to support them. So this is a learning event and not something that just sort of like excludes them from future participation. Great. Well, yeah, other questions or comments? We're sort of approaching the top of the hour here, which is fantastic. Robert, I'd love if you want to write something up and just share your thinking about staking derivatives. Adriana, go ahead.
No, I'm just muting myself to listen to the conversation. Nothing to add here. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, great. Well, yeah, great. Well, I think we can end a little bit early today. And yeah, thanks everybody for attending as always. And things are going to probably in the next 2 weeks, we will have a live governance proposal up on chain, and we'll be in the middle of that voting period. So that'll be great. And I think we'll be getting more and more. I would imagine by our next call, we will have clarity about the exact or more precision to share, more details to share around the initial price discovery plan and DEX offerings that are going to be taking place here for the public. And so there'll be more details around that. And I think a number of other things coming through as well. So until then, I hope everybody has a great couple of weeks, and feel free to reach out on any of the channels.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.